Hello, everyone. Nucleus here. So I scrapped the news that I was going to do earlier this week, as I realized after a few weekly news videos, I was going about it in a way that presented myself with a significant workload. So I'm switching up the format to make it easier on myself and bring the most important stories. So here's this week's tech news in case you missed it. First off, we have stories from employment social media site LinkedIn. On February 11th, a federal judge in Delaware has ruled against defunct AI startup Ross Intelligence in a copyright case brought by competitor Thomson Reuters, the parent company of the Reuters news outlet. Um, Ross had scraped Westlaw, Thomson Reuters' legal research database, to train its generative AI. Thomson Reuters took Ross Intelligence to court in 2020, claiming that the database was protected by copyright, while Ross claimed fair use. U.S. Circuit Judge Stephanos Bibas' ruling will most certainly come into play as Microsoft, Meta, and OpenAI could see a series of lawsuits from authors, record labels, and artists. In connection with the previous story, a number of publishers have filed lawsuit with Canadian AI startup Cohere for copyright infringement. The plaintiffs are alleging that Cohere violated copyright by using their works as training data, improperly reproduced publishers' content, and attributed inaccurate AI generated articles to the publishers in question. A spokesperson for Cohere has called the lawsuit frivolous. Chip designer ARM is set to launch their own chip and has secured Meta as its first customer. Previously, ARM had previously licensed out its chip designs to NVIDIA and Qualcomm. By producing and selling its own chip, ARM is entering into competition with the likes of its former customers. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says the company will be simplifying its product lineup. Currently, the company's products consist of the AI chatbot ChatGPT, text to video model Sora, text to image model DALL-E, the search engine Search GPT, and Deep Research, which is an AI system integrated into ChatGPT that can cite reports, interpret and analyze text, photos, and PDF files. The upcoming ChatGPT 5 is supposed to integrate much of their technology, including O3, the updated version of O1, a reflective generative pre trained transformer that is meant to devote extra deliberation time to answer questions that require step by step logical reasoning. And continuing with OpenAI, Sam Altman rejected a $97.4 billion takeover bid from Elon Musk, dismissing it as an attempt to, quote, slow down a competitor, end quote. Musk was among OpenAI's founders, but has gone on to start his own AI company, XAI. Altman has also stated that OpenAI's board hasn't received an official offer, but commented that, quote, our structure exists to ensure that no individual can take control of OpenAI, end quote. And in a follow up to that previous story from The Guardian, Elon Musk's lawyer said in a filing that he would drop his 97.4 billion bid for the nonprofit that controls OpenAI if they drop plans to convert to a for-profit company. In a California court, lawyers for Musk said in a filing, quote, if OpenAI Inc.'s board is prepared to preserve the charity's mission and stipulate to take the for sale sign off its assets by halting its conversion, Musk will withdraw the bid, end quote. Elon Musk is one of nearly a dozen people who helped found the nonprofit organization in 2015. The original mission of OpenAI's board was to be dedicated in safely building artificial intelligence for public benefit. Last year, the company revealed its plans to formally change its corporate structure. From cybersecurity news site The Hacker News, Dark web data leak and negotiation sites associated with the 8-base ransomware gang have been seized. The operation saw collaboration between the FBI, Europol, and the UK's NCA, or National Crime Agency. Law enforcement agencies in the operation also hailed from Belgium, Bavaria, Czech Republic, France, Germany, Japan, Romania, Spain, Switzerland, and Thailand. Visitors to the data leak site will receive a message saying, quote, "This hidden site and the criminal content have been seized by the Bavarian State Criminal Police Office on behalf of the Office of Public Prosecutor General in Bamberg," end quote. Thai media reports that 4 European nationals, 2 men and 2 women, had been arrested in 4 different locations. Authorities have seized more than 40 pieces of evidence, including mobile phones, laptops, and digital wallets. Moving over to the website Dark Reading, from Associated Editor Christina Beek, the small Memorial Hospital and Manor in Bainbridge, Georgia, is notifying 120,000 individuals that their data had been stolen in a 2024 ransomware attack. The attack was disclosed in November, and while the hospital systems were forced to revert to pen and paper and continued operating as normally. The hospital retained the services of cybersecurity experts to launch a forensic investigation, but have yet to determine what kind of ransomware infected their systems. Ransomware group Embargo have claimed responsibility, claiming to be in possession of over 1 terabyte worth of patient data. They published it to their Tor site for public viewing. Data likely compromised in the ransomware attack would be names, social security numbers, birth dates, insurance information, medical treatment, and medical history. In a filing with the Maine Attorney General's office, Memorial sent out notification to residents to the affected Maine residents on February 7th. The hospital is offering a 1 year of free identity theft protection and credit monitoring services, a $1 million identity fraud loss reimbursement policy, and identity theft recovery services through IDX. Christina Beek also reports on a patch released by Apple regarding a vulnerability that could be exploited in what they're calling a, quote, extremely sophisticated attack. And the attack was targeted at specific individuals but wouldn't elaborate. The vulnerability, tracked as CVE 2025 24200, could allow for a physical attack to disable USB restricted mode on a locked device. From the article, quote, USB restricted mode is a feature that makes it more difficult for threat actors to unlock a user's phone. When active, a phone's lightning port will only allow charging after the device has been locked for more than an hour, meaning that if an unauthorized actor attempted to connect to a locked iPhone to a device to access its data, they could only do so with the necessary credentials, end quote. The fix to this vulnerability is available for the iPhone XS and later, the iPad Pro 13-inch, iPad Pro 12.9-inch, third generation and later, iPad Pro 11, first generation and later, iPad Air, third generation and later, iPad 7th generation and later, and iPad Mini 5th generation and later. Users of these devices should install them as soon as possible and check to make sure that they're updated to the latest software release. 25-year-old man Eric Council of Athens, Alabama, has entered a guilty plea to 1 count of conspiracy to commit aggravated theft for his role in hacking into an X account for the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission. Council was arrested in October 17, 2024 for his role in the conspiracy to cause a spike in the price of Bitcoin. For his role in the conspiracy, Council and others engaged in SIM swapping to generate password reset security codes for online accounts. Council also used a portable ID printer to create false credentials, which he used at an AT&T store in Huntsville, Alabama, to explain to an employee why he needed the SIM swap. Having gained access to the SEC's X account, threat actors within the group made fraudulent posts under then SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. Counsel's sentencing is scheduled for May 16th, where he faces a 5-year prison sentence and a fine of $250,000. Jive Jayan writes that President Trump will nominate former Chief Operating Officer of the RNC, Sean Cairncross, as the new head of the Office of National Cyber Director. Citing multiple reports, Cairncross's name was seen on a list of planned White House nominees obtained by Political Axios and other media outlets. As director, Cairncross will play a role in shaping U.S. cybersecurity policy for the Trump administration. If confirmed, he will be taking over for Harry Coker Jr., a former senior CIA executive and naval officer. While Cairncross lacks any cybersecurity credentials, he does bring loads of political experience as the former COO of the RNC and as the former CEO of independent U.S. foreign aid agency Millennium Challenge Corporation. From Phil Muncaster for InfoSecurity Magazine, last week a hacker going under the name of Emir King claimed to have obtained the credentials of 20 million OpenAI accounts and were offering them up for sale. According to a newer report, it appears that those claims are false. Threat intelligence firm Plea says that the purported hacker most likely obtained the credentials from InfoStealer logs that are available both privately and publicly. Plea analyzed a sample of the data shared by the hacker and cross-referenced it with data from already compromised accounts obtained by InfoStealer malware. Besides the advert for selling the 20 million OpenAI accounts, Emir King's only other post on Breach Forum is a January 9th post claiming that they have access to 50,000 InfoStealer logs. Now for some stories from the Register. From Jessica Lyons, Arizona woman Christina Marie Chapman has pled guilty in a fraud scheme that generated $17 million for herself and North Korea. Arrested in May of last year, Chapman was running a laptop farm out of her Arizona home where overseas IT workers were posing as U.S. citizens and residents. Chapman also helped fraudsters steal identities of at least 70 U.S. nationals and use those identities to apply for remote IT jobs. While it's unclear just how much she actually pocketed, the scheme did result in $17.1 million for those overseas workers, and much of the income was falsely reported to the IRS and Social Security Administration under the names of Americans whose identities had been stolen. Chapman is scheduled to be sentenced June 16th, and under the terms of her plea deal, she could be sentenced between 94 and 111 months. In another article from Jessica Lyons, a previously unknown gang dubbed Triplestrength is posing a triple threat to organizations by infecting computers with ransomware and hijacks cloud accounts to illegally mine cryptocurrency. Google's threat intelligence group has been tracking the group since 2023, and they seem to be quite active on hacking and cybercrime forums. Google's incident responders have seen the group advertising access to compromised servers in Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, DigitalOcean, and OVH Cloud. Triplestrength seems to be a small group of financially motivated hackers, and the group also seems to be a small focus group as they are actively recruiting other criminals for its extortion work. From Connor Jones, AUKUS, the Australian, UK, and US coalition, and 6 key allies have hit one of the bulletproof hosting providers for the ransomware as a service group LockBit with sanctions. Zservers, which is headquartered in Barnaul, Russia, has also provided bulletproof hosting services to LockBit affiliates who have purchased servers to support ransomware attacks. The UK's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office has said that Zservers' UK front company, X-Host Internet Solutions, has also been included in the sanctions. The UK is leading the way with 6 individuals and 2 entities to their sanction list. Alexander Igorovich Mishin and Alexander Sergeyevich Bolshakov were named by the U.S. as the heads of the operation, with Mishin handling marketing to LockBit and handling crypto transactions. Also sanctioned by the UK are Ilya Vladimirovich Sidorov, Dmitry Konstantinovich Bolshakov, no mention of relation to Alexander, Igor Vladimirovich Odintsov, and Vladimir Vladimirovich Ananov. From UK YouTuber and film critic Mr. H Reviews, citing a story from the Washington Post, the Keir Starmer government is seeking not the ability to access Apple accounts in the UK, but globally. The subheadline to the Washington Post article reads, quote, Secret order requires blanket access to protected cloud backups around the world, which, if implemented, would undermine Apple's privacy pledge to its users. End quote. Security officials in the UK have ordered Apple to create a backdoor for them so they could access content any Apple user worldwide has uploaded to the cloud. While Apple has assisted law enforcement in the past, in 2015 and 2016, the company was involved in a dispute with the FBI where the agency tried to get Apple to create a modified version of their iOS so they could brute force access to one of the shooters involved in the San Bernardino attack. From Matt Bracken at cyberscoop.com, a bipartisan Senate bill could strengthen penalties for cybercrime. South Dakota Senator Mike Rounds and New York Senator Kristen Gillibrand put forth the Cyber Conspiracy Modernization Act. The act would modify the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act to establish a specific penalty for conspiracy and boost penalties for violators. In a statement from Senator Rounds, quote, as cyber technologies continue to rapidly evolve, we need more people working to secure cyberspace as well as harsher penalties for those perpetrating these crimes. As chairman for the Senate Armed Services Committee's Subcommittee on Cybersecurity, I am committed to working on policies that strengthen the United States' ability to respond quickly and decisively to cyber attacks which have been on the rise. End quote. Under the current law, the DOJ can only charge conspiracy to commit cybercrimes through a general statute unrelated to the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. However, this new legislation would allow the DOJ to issue charges under a technology-specific CFAA, and penalties could range from 10 years to life in prison, depending on the severity. Over at Bleeping Computer, Bill Toulis writes, free-to-play game PirateFi has been distributing the info-stealing malware Vidar to unsuspecting users. The game has been on the Steam Digital Marketplace for almost a week and has been downloaded by at least 1,500 users. Steam is recommending that affected users make sure that they have the latest antivirus definitions and do a full system scan, or out of an abundance of caution, do a clean install of Windows. Users who have downloaded and run the game should consider that the credentials, session cookies, and secrets saved in your browser, crypto wallets, and email clients are compromised. As of now, the game has been removed from Steam. Also from Bleeping Computer, Lawrence Abram writes, on February 11th, decentralized moneylender zkLend suffered a breach where threat actors exploited a smart contract flaw, stealing 3,600 Ethereum, which at the time of the attack was worth $9.5 million. The attackers exploited a rounding error bug in zkLend's smart contract mint function. The hacker tried to launder the stolen crypto through the Railgun privacy protocol, but was blocked. zkLend has issued a statement to the hacker offering in return for 90% of the stolen Ethereum, they can keep the remaining 10% as a white hat bounty, and they won't pursue legal action. The hacker was given until midnight Valentine's Day to return the stolen Ethereum. And now for a more positive tech story from the open source electronics maker Arduino. Earlier this week, they made a blog post about Tecnoseta. Tecnoseta is an Italian startup founded in 2019 that is trying to revive and innovate the Italian silk production chain. The goal is to be 100% made in Italy. Italy, yeah, I can't speak. Of course, this isn't the only goal. Developing high tech, efficient, and innovative equipment is the name of the game, as well as revitalizing rural communities and providing job opportunities for younger generations. Where Arduino comes in is that Technoseta's in-house technology team have developed a line of modular high-performance equipment that's using Arduino's Nano Every boards and Nano 33T Internet of Things boards. Looking towards the future, the company will be looking to leverage Arduino Cloud and their Optra Micro PLC for data collection and monitoring of their machines to monitor performance, so technicians can intervene when there are issues and increase reliability and precision. To quote from the post, Technoseta is working within an agritech framework to develop high-tech architectures and AI models for the automated management of silkworm breeding. And that is it for this week's news recap. I hope that you guys will check out the full articles for all of the stories that I talked about today. The links will be in the description below. And follow me on all my social media accounts. The links to those will also be in the description below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And check out my gaming channel on Rumble for more content. And with that, I will see you all in the next video.